If you're ISO certified, you need to have a good CAPA management system, so corrective preventive actions. But it's a lot more than that, so let's dive into what this really means for your organization. Hello, I'm Tom. Welcome to my channel where we make operational excellence practical. And part of it is being able to correct all kinds of deviations, to find the root cause of your problems and solve it. Now, if you are certified, and then it's especially ISO 9001 type of certification, but almost all quality certifications, manufacturing certifications, they're sort of based on that content, and they require you to have CAPA management, as it's called. So this is corrective actions and preventive actions. That is what CAPA stands for. But a CAPA management system, as demanded by these certifications, is way bigger than just having corrective and preventive actions. And basically, go and implement the cycles of excellence, and especially the cycle of control, as I have put it in a number of videos. Or just take my problem-solving course, and you're very far in this already. You will see why. See, if we open up what the ISO 9001 standards have to say about this, but again, many other certifications are close in what they require. It's not just the corrective preventive actions. No, they want a whole bunch of things. So, first of all, they need you to already identify the problems, to analyze the root causes. What? I thought it was corrective preventive action management. This has nothing to do with actions. Indeed. So this is a bit the trick. CAPA management. So if you are in the quality department, you probably knew this already to begin with, but also know that you have a challenge explaining it to the rest of your team because of the name. But if you're not directly in this quality schooling, know that your quality management system, when it talks about CAPA, it starts a lot earlier than just those actions. But then we also do get to the actual actions. Here we get those corrective and preventive actions. And the difference here, we can get very technical, but basically it means the corrective action is to get rid of the current problem and also sort of make sure it doesn't happen again, specifically this problem, right? That's why we find the root cause. If you correct the root cause, the problem should not be coming back. So you fixed it now and it stays fixed. But also, certainly you will see some things that are linked or some other places where it might pop up. And that's the preventive action part. So you also want to prevent similar things from happening. Now, sometimes these are the same action, basically does both, but quite often during the analysis you see, oh, right, so specifically to prevent this problem, we don't need to change that part of the manual or that part of our maintenance plan or whatever, but let's do it anyway because that'll make our system much stronger. Those are preventive actions. But we're not there yet, right? So now we have our CAPA, but it requires more. The certification program wants a lot more from you. It also requires of you that you manage the change. This is a little bit of quality management specific language that you read quite often. An improvement is a change as well. So to make the standard a bit more generic, any change you do, you need to manage. Improvements are change, so any improvement you also need to manage. This means two things. First off, the very simple part of you don't just define the actions, you also implement them, right? So manage the project management of implementing your improvements. But this is important, right? It's often forgotten that you need to actually make your improvements happen. But also, that in your management of change program, this needs to be put through your management of change procedures. Now, that is a different topic, but the short of it is that when you do make these corrective and preventive actions to prevent one problem, make sure you're not making a safety, quality, or whatever hazard somewhere else, right? So make sure that the changes that you do are not detrimental in other fields. Then you need to validate that it actually worked. And so you can think up a nice solution, but then when you implement it, you should see that the problem goes away and stays away. Now, if this was a bit of a mechanical problem, then just replacing a spare part or realigning your equipment will probably solve your problem for the next couple of months, right? Whether or not you actually tackled the root causes. So this cute little sentence here doesn't just mean see that the problem's gone today, but also keep tracking it a bit, right? So probably for half a year afterwards, you should still be checking. Let's turn that around is what most of the certification programs will say. Let's not actively check all of the changes we did. Let us just register the change at its intended effect. And then when something happens, we will look back into our documentation. Did we have anything specifically planned for that to prevent it? And if you then see that, oh, half a year ago we did this whole problem solving effort and it should have prevented specifically this problem, then it was not an effective solution. Right? So that's the slightly different way of approaching it, but it demands that you validate that your solution really did tackle the root cause and prevents the problem from coming back. And also, most of the auditing and certification programs, they will demand that you actually go and check that these changes, these corrective and preventive actions, are being done, right? So you need to have a system in place that is checking that your new way of lubricating is actually being done by all operators, technicians, whoever does the lubrication. That the new technical inspection, the periodic technical inspection, is in fact being done in the correct way, and that any observations from there are actioned at. Stuff like that, right? So any change that you made, is it really being used by the people in your organization? So you need process control, layered process audits, process confirmation, right? That are systems that we talk about quite a lot. So you see that for traditional quality management systems, the CAPA system, for Lean, Six Sigma, TPM, operational excellence, this is what we call performance control. Problem solving. Right? Identifying your problems, for that you need performance control, probably performance control meetings, you need process controls. Identifying the root cause, defining actions, you need a good problem solving, right? Root cause problem solving skills. Then making sure that you manage those changes, good management of change procedure, but also making your standards easy and stable. Validating effectiveness sort of comes back to we keep performance controlling, but after the fact. And process control, well, that one speaks for itself. So to get CAPA management, two things. One, if you do a good operational excellence program, you've got this already, and you know that this is very important for your organization. So don't see CAPA management as an extra load. See it as an integral part of what you're doing. Two, if you indeed already have a structured way of problem solving that is linked up to performance control, and you keep records of it, then probably you do not need a separate CAPA management system. So people in quality management, be aware before you set up a CAPA management system, because your organization hopefully already has CAPA management in its daily practices. You just don't call it CAPA, and that makes it a bit more difficult for an audit. Well, maybe you don't call it CAPA, and then it makes it a bit more difficult for an audit. Don't set up a separate system for CAPA management, please. This is an integral part of how you run your business. And you've heard me talk about the 3 circles, right? The cycles of excellence, where we have our daily processes, basically any process we have, and there is 3 management cycles that we really need to use. And they are strategy, improvement, and control. Look at my videos on this, but the control cycle, that is the same as CAPA management. It's a bit more, but it covers, if you do a good implemented control cycle, you have CAPA management covered. That also shows how tremendously important this part of sometimes sort of burdening quality certifications is to your organization and operation. So don't ignore it, implement it in a good way, make it part of your system, and then you don't have to double implement it or specifically document it. This is a big part of your operational control. So I hope that clarified a bit on what CAPA is, that it opened your eyes to, well, formally CAPA management is quite a bit more than just defining corrective and preventive actions, and that it also sort of took out the needle in that, it is, or it should already be, part of how you are running your operation right now. If you need help setting this up, you know where to find me, right? But I also trust that you can do most of that very well with your current resources. If you like this video, don't forget to hit that like button and share this with your quality and your non-quality colleagues that do have things to do with how you run your business. For now, I wish you the best of luck with your CAPA management, and as always, don't forget to also enjoy the operational excellence journey.